Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1999 Nissan Silvia Spec-S Aero. Our first S15 Aero to take on the course. Of course, we've had the Spec-S and the Spec-R, but this one is the Aero model, my favourite, because it has a wing, which is good because the ones that don't have wings look a bit weird. The S15, my favourite of all of the Silvias, easily, dare I say, I even don't dislike this Silvia. It's sort of a subdued, attractive vehicle, I guess. Silvias are not good looking cars for the most part, let's be honest. They're pretty dull looking, and I'd say this also is not particularly flamboyant. But it does look cool, especially with the Aero kit, with that little body kit, the wing that has far too many stays on it, and these sort of weird BBS-esque wheels that I'm not sure if I like or not. It also is helped by the colour. This is, well, it's blue, but for some reason GT2 has it down as being sort of purple, which is interesting, and I think it adds to it. I quite like it. It makes it look really vibrant. In case you're curious, my favourite S15 is, of course, the Varietta, which is the one I would own. Anyways, the Spec-S era, as mentioned, Spec-S, Spec-R's gone round. Spec-S had racing modification. Spec-R didn't. This isn't running race mod because this is identical to the Spec-S, and as the Spec-S looks worse, I decided that that should run the race mod. The Spec-R Aero is actually better than the Spec-R, so the Spec-R Aero is going to run race mod. So, yeah, it's a bit complicated, but that's how it's going to work. Obviously, Spec-S, Spec-R, this one is the lesser. This is our third of the S15s, so yeah, I don't know what the difference between S and R is. I think it's different states of tune on the engine, or it might be a 1.8 to a 2 litre, I'm not sure. Anyways, front engine rear wheel drive, 356 horsepower, 1,104 kilograms. Pretty middling stats, I'd say. In fact, I'd say exactly middling stats for this course. We've seen before, you know, 350 horsepower I'd say is probably the medium of most cars that come around here, and 1,100 kilos probably about the median there as well. So this is a pretty average vehicle, and as a result I think it's going to go exactly mid-table. But to find out how it gets along, it's going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track. Our current leader is the Suzuki Cultus Pikes Peak version. This car is unlikely to beat that unless a miracle happens, or the Varietta comes to the course, which unfortunately is not in this game because it came out a year too late. In terms of where this is going to go, Silvia Spec-S set a time of 30.592. Spec-R set a time of 30.529, which was not planned, but that's the way it's worked out. Spec-R has more power, which means it gets, well, it's quicker out of the corners, and the Spec-S had race mod, which means it's sort of better in the corners and can keep more speed up. So this is quite a long gearbox, so like I say, I am suspecting this is going to be a firm mid-pack car, which would put it around the 30.8, 30.7. So that's what I'm hoping for. So far, it's been 31.1s, which doesn't bode particularly well. It's really, like I say, the one thing that's striking me at the moment with this is it's really long geared, which is interesting. I don't remember that with the Spec-S. Admittedly, the Spec-S also went round a while ago, so I don't remember a lot of that. But yeah, I'm having to sort of take wider lines into corners to accommodate the interestingness in the gear situation. I don't think this is an automatic. Oh. Got bit by that classic S15, well, I'd say S15. S15's actually handled pretty well. The other ones, not so much. I got bit by the sort of slight increase in oversteer on the way out there, which is not good. Come on, I figure we can take 0.1 off of this. Maybe. I don't really know, to be honest. It's you know what I was saying about pretty middling vehicles? It is very middling to drive. There's not, you know, it almost, to be honest with you, feels like a lazy four-wheel drive car than a rear-wheel drive car. It's only when you like accidentally spank it out of the corner and it lets go, it really feels like anything other than that. Come on, to the line. 30.708. You know what? I feel that ties with something. It does. Ah, that is actually very interesting. Not only does it tie with something, we've had 497 cars, and that puts it mid-pack, pretty much. So yeah, the most average car in GT2 is the Nissan Silvia Spec-S Aero, which is interesting. I thought it might be something like this, because it is. I mean, most cars in this game are probably rear-wheel drive, right? You know, 350 horsepower, pretty average. 1,100 kilos, pretty average. That is the most average car in Gran Turismo 2. That is how I'm billing that. Could have taken a little bit of time out of it, to be fair. I don't think it would have been that much. Spec-S, 30.5, this being 0.1 off. If anything, I think this sort of overachieved, to be perfectly honest, on that final lap. So, yeah, I don't think there's a lot to come out of that, to be perfectly honest. But, yeah, interesting. A 30.708 will place it into 250th. It ties with the Nissan 200 SX 1998, which had more power than this, I think. Very slightly more power. Better geared, but handled worse. I'd go with the S15 over that, to be perfectly honest. It is quicker than a Peugeot 406 quicker than a Nismo 270R, quicker than a 1991 Toyota Supra Twin Turbo, and the TRD 3000 GT, and the Silvia Q's Aero. As mentioned, about 0.1 off of the Spec-S with the race mod, and slightly down on the Spec-R without the race mod. So, Spec-R Aero is going to be probably the quickest of all the Silvias. I think quickest Silvia is a random S13. The Silvia Q's was ridiculously quick. I swear there's another one up there as well, somewhere. But yeah, that's probably going to be the quickest Silvia, you'd think. If it stays controllable, I don't know. But, no. In terms of this one, again, as I said before, this is, in my mind, just the most average car in GT2. So, there you go. There's something for you. Most average car in GT2 is a Nissan Silvia Spec-S Aero, which makes more sense the more I say it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I will be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.